Cody Lee Wolf Hansen, Shaman Wolf legend, number one wolf. Ever since I started this YouTube channel, and for some time, for a long time, I've been talking, preaching about this competition that I'm doing, NPC bodybuilding competition, which is in Covington, in Kentucky, at the Northern Kentucky Covington Center. And it is November 5th, tomorrow. I've been preparing for this competition for 6 months. But at the same time, I feel like that it's a competition and a journey that I've been preparing for my entire life. I told you in the last video, I said, stay tuned to this video. I'm going to open up. I'm going to reveal what exactly I've been preaching about for so long. When I say no one's had as hard a road as I had, at least when it comes to the competitors this Saturday. I want to reveal everything. I think it's time. I think now, all the cards are on the table. All the preparation is up. The day is here. It's time to tell the world, tell everybody listening, my story, my inspiration, my journey to this day, to November 5th, my day. So, it all started back, as soon as the year started, 2016, I made a goal for myself. I said I was going to do a bodybuilding competition. I was going to do a show. And now it's going to be achieved, hopefully. And I'm one of those type of people. I don't say and I don't do anything until it's right there. It's in my hands. But I've been preparing for this for so long. In the past I've asked multiple people who've done competitions when I was younger. I was like, listen, I think I have the body for it. I truly believe I've been, blessed with good, genetics. I think maybe not, I don't know, but with my training and with my philosophies and with my training regimen and the way I am, I've built a very impressive body, in my opinion, especially for someone my age. And I asked many people, I want to do a competition. Is there any way you can help me? Is there any way you guys could, get me connections, find me ways to do competitions? And all I hear left and right, you need to do a competition. You should do competitions. Man, you'd be so good if you do competition. You destroy everybody, blah, 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 this and that. So I finally said, you know what? I'm going to do one. It's going to be and I made it my bucket list goal several years ago to do one, at least one in my life. People would always ask me this and that, this video is going to be real. Ain't going to be no hiding behind curtains and hiding behind, certain things. I'm going to tell how it is. I'm going to tell how real, and I'm going to tell my story. Plain and simple. I'm a real guy. If you don't like it, well, there's a beautiful smile for you. I used to train with a guy named Josh Kaler. We fell out twice. The first time was due to my family and him. The second time, I was man enough to handshake him and said, hey, I didn't want to lose a good friend. But this time, he got upset because he got upset with the ways I do my videos, and he got upset, I guess, just because of who I am and what I'm about and in my entire personality. He just got upset with it, trying to tell me what I should act like and this and that. I said, if you don't like who I am, then hit the road, and I said, listen, I'm not going to judge you, and I'm not, but this video is not about that. So basically we fell out, so we're not, but when I was training with him last year, he was telling me, he was like, listen, man, I can't wait. You're going to be IFBB pro. You're going to be this and that. You're going to be on Olympia stage because, he said that I had all the credentials to be that. and to have that. I'm humbled enough to say, no, I'm not, but I will. I'll be happy to accept any compliments of that. But do I believe I'm IFBB Pro? No, not in any way. Do I believe I have an opportunity? I have or have a chance? I have a chance at anything I put my mind to. I truly believe that. But but that's just, I'm basically just telling you that, it's just example. Everyone has said you should do competitions. People who's done competitions, my age, a little bit older, have been saying, listen, you do competition, man, you do so good, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I'm finally doing a competition. And during the summer, I was like, you know what? I'm doing a competition. I don't care. I'm going to give it all I got. I'm going to save up money. I'm going to put in the diet, I'm going to stop eating like crap. I'm going to literally do everything I can for to do a competition. And at first, I didn't even have a competition in mind. I was just training, for a competition. Fast forward about a couple months later, you know, a friend of mine, Tanner Luck, he did a competition, physique competition, telling me, "Hey, dude, you do really good in competitions." And I said, "Well, I just like to know one." He said, "Hey, I got this one." He showed me a poster of it. Since then, I got on the poster, and I immediately got online, checked it out, registered. $106 later. Uh, but it all started because I basically put my foot down. I said, "Listen, I'm going to accomplish this goal this year, not next year, this year." There was multiple occasions to where, people who were training me and people who, I originally was trying to do a competition back in April, but I didn't have the money for it. I didn't. I wasn't working. I was still in school. I was, still in a bad financial position. I didn't have the money to achieve that. So after that, I asked Muscle Mania winner in 1992, I believe so, Eric Tapp. He was training at my gym at the time. I was like, listen, I was wondering if you can help me out. I was wondering if you can train me, give me, blah, blah, blah. And he wanted to, and, no charge because, he saw something in me. And I wanted the gym to sponsor me, and they were willing to. Whatever happened with that whole thing with the sponsorship in the gym, it never went through. It never, just never got back to me on that. It just kind of faded away. So I just like, oh well, I don't need to be sponsored. I do it myself. I'll earn the cash myself, and it makes me feel better about myself to do it that way. But uh so, you know, fast forward a little bit later, I couldn't do the competition anyways because not only did I not have the money, but I couldn't really focus on doing a competition because of training. For track. I was doing track and field my last year, senior year, and I still had school going on. So, you know, and my dad and I was talking about, I listened to him. I was like, well, all right, Dad. He wanted me to just focus on school and focus on, you know, getting track done. And I said, all right, I'll do it. And my goal at the time was to beat a record, school record, and it didn't work out the way I wanted to, but I felt like I did good. I felt like, I gave all the young lions, this old lion, I gave all the young lions a run for their money. I definitely felt like I did my job. I should say I did my job for the team and for myself, and passing the torch. I felt like I did a great job at doing that and left on a happy note, you know, left on a message and a lesson learned. You might put your entire life into trying to achieve something, and even though you don't achieve it, it's just the process that you put yourself through. And, and stay positive, because what you're doing is inspiring others, and what you're doing is making yourself better for any other situation that pops up. So kept a positive, kept a smile. But fast forward, finally got to train for the competition. I was done with track. I said I'm going to focus mainly on bodybuilding, nothing else. So I focused. So I started training for the competition, after I started doing like the mass building. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start on the competition now. Started in the summer. I started working at a new company, uh, and I moved in with some people, and basically to just, I was making decent money. I was making money to where I can afford things I needed, supplements, food, registration fees, everything I needed for the competition. I got it all out of the way. But during that time, I was going through a really bad mental destruction. Yeah, it's a perfect word, because I was away from my family, people I grew up with, living with every single day. Um, I was away from them, left on, I'm gonna be honest, left on a bad note. Uh, I miss my mother every single day dearly. She's an angel sent from heaven, and I wish only the best for her. And I want her to have the best. I want her to live the next 40, 50 years of her life in luxury and not working, and she don't deserve it, because she's such the most amazing lady, most important person, and the most, important person to me in my entire life. And I'm getting a little bit off track, but so I was away from that, and I was fighting other demons and fighting other depression thoughts. I had no friends to hang out with. I had one friend, but he was shady, and his name was that, and ironic, but he was just, couldn't really trust him at times. It felt like, you know, and so I didn't feel like I had a lot of friends. I didn't feel like I had any friends whatsoever. So I was very alone, and I had no one to talk to. I was always just in my mind, and I was living in a place to where I felt like I wasn't really welcomed. I felt like in a place to where bad and negative things were just starting to build upon each other more and more as each day went on. So I was going through a really mental destruction, the very thought of basically leaving and having no family, my entire family alone, gone, uh, basically being away from my entire family, basically being in a strange world, an alienated world, a place where I'm all alone and I never been to. And the company I was working with was, every day was a death threatening experience. We were messing with chemicals that I have scars to this day because of it. It can kill you if you smell it too much, or if you walk in it, it can burn you, burn through your skin. So add that on there, and then, constant living with people that didn't like you and you didn't like them. You didn't like the way they treated certain people, and they just didn't like you for some apparent reason. And then had to go to work with those people and leave from work every single day, being bullied, being mentally abused um, by their actions. So going through that, and then with the job being a death threatening job every single day, and constantly having 2 hours of sleep average. And some of that's my fault, but some of it, because of my feelings was getting in the way, it was causing me not to sleep. There was actually a time where I was actually awake for 40 some hours straight. I didn't sleep one thing, and uh, basically what I'm basically trying to get at is, had no car. So I had to carpool with people that bullied me and mentally abused me. And then not being around my family, having zero contact with my family, the shaman, family social club, basically my second family, being away from all people I grew up, people who raised me, I was away from them and no contact with them, if barely any. Uh, so basically being ripped apart from my family, because it was one of those things where if I stayed where I was, it was going to feel like the more I stayed there, the more shackled down I would be. And the more I felt like I would never could escape. But at the same time, the price and the consequences that I had to deal with is major depression and major bad negative thoughts. There was a point to where I just burst out crying. Everything was going good in the day, and looked at a picture of my parents, and I cried my eyes out so much. And then so you add on the job, which was a death threatening experience every single day. You add on no sleep, so my immune system was dead. I was sick for months, like legitly sick. I was no contact with the world almost. Like I didn't do social media. I barely did Instagram. I barely was in contact with anyone. I had no friends. Um,
Me being basically obsessed with a girl that didn't want the same feelings as I had toward her. So that just being the person I am, I get too emotionally attached way too easy when it comes to the opposite sex. And that's just one of my downfalls, or maybe to other people it's not. I get too emotionally attached to them, and living under the same roof as that person, just added gasoline to the fire. So, you know, add that to the mixture of being away from your family, being ripped away from, forcing yourself to basically abandon them almost. People who raised you, people who loved you, people who nurtured you, people who made you into the person that you are, people who are part of your soul and spirit, um, and embody me. You know, being away from that, being in a job that could cost my life at any second, um, being bullied, mentally bullied, and bullied every single day of your life, and being in a place to where you weren't welcomed almost, um, being around people that didn't understand you because of that, they bullied you, having no friends. So basically, I felt like to paint a picture in everybody's mind, I felt like for a long time, months at a time, I felt like I was in this dark, empty area, and I'm just there sitting with my head down like this, and nothing, just no emotions, no crying, no laughing, no nothing, just taking the pain, just enduring it all, just being pounded to death with it, and not doing anything to fight against it because you're getting weaker with each time, and the more you try to fight, the more it pressures down, And then as each day went by, um, each passing moment went by with everything going on, the constant depression, the constant negativity, the constant all just mentally, spiritually, mostly destruction of myself. It felt like me being in an empty, dark room with a wall being built around me to isolate me even more away from the light, the positivity of life. So, going through a mental destruction phase, and as soon as I literally quit my job at that place, and as soon as I left that the place of where I was living at, and I came home, not to all my family, but to some of my family, and I returned back to that. When I returned back to that, I was happy again. I gained light back in my spirit, in my soul. I gained positivity back. I started breaking down those walls. I started seeing a light. I got up and I realized, man, so going through all that really, really put a testament on my spirituality, really made me get more in contact with my spirit, with my soul, and who I am and what I'm about. Really tested the resilience and the endurance and the durability of my soul, of my physicality, and my mentality. Oh, and also prove the fact when I was working at that place and having 2 hours of sleep average, I would basically, when I wake up, no system, so I'm always sick. I'd have to put in so much caffeine into myself to get me going. It was like I was literally going to have my heart explode. I thought I was going to pass a kidney stone right there at work one time. There's been times where I'd almost be falling asleep while working, being in, the freaking bathroom falling asleep, like not able to function. I couldn't even, there was times where I wasn't even thinking right. It's like I wasn't even there, I almost overdosed on uh, freaking sleeping medicine or sleeping pills, taking too many of them because I just wanted to escape everything. I wanted to escape all the negativity of the world and all the everything that was bad, and I just wanted to escape and get rid of it. And so I was going through a mental destruction. My spirit was being deteriorating and being ripped apart. I was destroying myself physically from all the pills, from all the supplements like pre-workouts that I was using to keep myself awake. There was times where I was taking at least 2,000 milligrams of caffeine just to stay awake, just to stay alive, to do my job, to do whatever. So it really put a testament, really, you know, I, that was all within 4 months. So you fast forward back in, so having the money and all that stuff, but having zero happiness and proof. Having money doesn't necessarily mean you're happy. I had all the money in the world, more money than I ever had in my life, and I was at the most depressed state that I have been in a long, long time. And for really the apparent reason, there was plenty of them, but everyone was like, "Why are you mad? Why are you sad? You have everything going for you." But at the same time, emotionally, mentally, I had nothing going for me. In reality, to what people could see, sure, but inside and here, no. So fast forward, I hit rock bottom. No job, living off the money that I safely and smartly saved up, spent all that money. I learned how to eat on a budget. I learned how to eat healthy because I was still doing this competition without a shadow of a doubt. I said I was gonna die trying and doing this competition. And there was times in the gym because how much caffeine I was using, I had to literally get off the incline from doing incline benches, stop because I felt like my heart was gonna explode. Drinking water would hurt so much. So, you know, but I hit rock bottom, so I moved back to, away from, I returned home. I was happy, even though I had no money, no income, but I was happy. I was back home. I returned back to, not home, but like a home away from home. I returned back to, I was living with one of my sisters, and even though the people around her are very negative and the people around her are really shady and drug like, kind of like really ghetto like, and just no motivation in their life. But I didn't focus on it. I just I just walked past them and let them face me. But I was more happier than ever, being on rock bottom and not having no income, but and not having a car, not having nothing. I was happy. I was happy because I was like I felt like I was being strangled and held underwater for so long, and I finally got to breathe again. It felt good. So then I as soon as day one, I had an interview for another job after I quit my last, when I quit the job. So I was immediately every single day trying to get a job, trying to get this, busting my butt off, working out, trying to get a job, getting my car. And then you know what I did? I did. I got my license, I got my car, I got everything that I got my, I was working on getting interviews and jobs, you know. Before I even got the car, I was running. take this running to the gym as my cardio and then running back. Yeah, I'd run to the gym at 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning. Why am I working out 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? I'm about to be real for a second. Because I didn't want to deal with people that hated my guts, with people who didn't see eye to eye with me, people who were negative against me. I didn't want that. I didn't want to have that on my mind while I'm working out. And all the times they were there. So I worked at a time when nobody was around. 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning. I go work out at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, run there, and everyone's like, "Oh, what about the clowns?" And I'm like, "Well, I dare see one of those clowns because I raped the clown." I don't care. I bring it on. I dare a clown try to touch me. Clowns should be scared of me. The Shaman Wolf Beast. I mean, legend. I'm not beast. The Shaman Wolf legend is running down the streets at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the night. So I put on my music, and I run. I jog, semi sprint, because it's kind of sketchy, but jogging to the gym, work out for 2, 3 hours, and then jog back home, eat, take a shower, go to sleep, do it all over again. And I did that for so long. Finally got my car. Finally started, I drive back and forth there, but and still going through a lot of mental, but not as bad. Started to finally fade away, mental destruction. But it started to rebuild itself. My mentality and spirituality started to rebuild itself. And once I started getting interviews left and right, I finally got a job, back on my feet, back making some money. Um, and I left my home away from home and found a new home. And now I live with my other sister in a stupid timer. It's obsessed, but possessed. I meant. But so I I moved out to a more positive feeling place. There's more successful people out here in Loveland. There's more. It's truly the land of love. There's it's a place that has 10 times more opportunity than what I was used to and raised and grew up around. Um, so it gives me the chance to further build my road to my own personal success even better than what I could before. So, in being around people who care deeply and willing to help, I'm not going to let that slip through my fingers. So, I finally got myself in a more positive, more better position in life. So, to really, grab the world and take everything that's in it, and get every opportunity that I can, be the ultimate opportunist. So now I'm just in a better place to where I can finally build the foundation, I can focus better on building a better foundation for my own road to my own personal greatness and to build my legacy. So I have a better opportunity of better tools to use and a better environment to build that road and to truly find and come in contact with my spirituality and just truly get to understand myself more. So when I say that nobody else, um, when nobody else has went down the road that I have, going against all the other competitors tomorrow at the Northern Kentucky Convention Center in PC Bible and Show, when I say that nobody else has endured as much as I have went down the path, went down the road, and had to take as much punishment as I had, leading into this. I kind of meant that in a life way and as a preparation way. As I just told you, that entire thing I just said, that was a preparation process. And every single workout I did, I work out for as long as that is needed, and I work out to the highest of intensity, reps and sets for days. I'd be on the cardio, whatever machine it might be, for 30 minutes on the highest intensity level and the highest level possible, non-stop. You know, I'd be drenched in sweat every single workout. You know, I'd make sure that I'm sore for a week on every single muscle part that I would hit. You know, no one is as passionate as me when it comes to hitting a muscle part because I could become so soul, mind, muscle connection. It's like everything else, it doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is that muscle and is what I'm doing to it, you know? So, and when I say the road that I went down, you know, the things that I've seen that I'm not going to mention, and the things that I had to go through that I'm not going to mention, I'm not going to dwell on the past, but I will say it's made me into a better person. It's made me into who I am. It's made me into a stronger, you know, spirit. But, you know, from deaths in the family to arguments to personal witnesses to certain personal events in life that I've had to go through that I know nobody else, everyone, you know, other people, I cannot stand that stupid time watch. I want to throw it. So, what I had to go through. See, growing up, I didn't have the things that every other kid had. I was, as what they would call the needy. I didn't have the clothes. I didn't have the nice clothes, the nice toys, the nice, you know, video game systems, the nice everything, you know. We didn't live in the nicest house. We lived probably in one of the most poorest places. I mean, I lived a very, very poor life, but my life was very enriched, very rich in a certain fashion when it came to just loving one another and surviving. You know, my my family made a legacy, made a reputation of survival, going through the worst that life can possibly throw at you and surviving through it all and still able to smile at the end of the day. You know, and it's all embodied into me now. It's all embodied into who I am and what I'm about, you know. Doesn't matter what life could throw the biggest haymakers at me, knock me down, but once I get back up and I look at life and I say, is that the best you got with a smile on my face? And I just go and give everything I got back at life. You know, I so I we didn't have any money. We just for example, surviving off $600 a month. That's it. That's it. That's the whole income. And still able to have some sort of a life out of that. It's hard. It's rough. You know, not and this is from a little kid all the way to where I graduated, you know, high school. Uh, not having what everyone else had, not being able to do what everyone else did, not being able to afford to do this or to do that, you know, being basically almost forced in some ways to be a social outcast because I couldn't have the things that everyone else did, but it made me into the person I am, you know, and I'm glad that I was able to inspire, inspire a lot of people in that journey. So for so long, I've been had to go and endure being held down and not, you know, not having the things that everyone else might have, you know. against compares might have trainers, teams, nutritionists, grew up, with family who had money to afford their nutrition and afford their memberships. Me, when it came to having a gym, one, I didn't get it. My first gym membership was last year. You know how I got the physique? I had a better physique than most freaking 30-year-old men, 20-year-old men, whatever. You know? You know how I achieved that physique? I achieved it with using what I could have at home. When I was at home, all I had was sand weights and this a barbell. And when I got strong enough to where I could rep that out easy, I put cinder block